The annals of criminal history are marked by the haunting presence of individuals whose actions have left an indelible mark on society. Serial killers, driven by a compulsion to commit multiple acts of murder, have captivated the public imagination with their gruesome deeds and enigmatic personalities. This exploration delves into the lives and atrocities of the top 10 most notorious serial killers, individuals whose names have become synonymous with terror and horror. Number 1, Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. He was known for his good looks, intelligence, and charm. Bundy had a troubled childhood and reportedly displayed signs of violence and manipulation at an early age. He was involved in a series of burglaries and assaults before escalating to murder. Ted Bundy was an American serial killer active during the 1970s. He was charming and manipulative, luring young women to his car before abducting and killing them. Bundy confessed to killing over 30 women, although the actual number is likely higher. Number 2, Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was born on May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Dahmer showed an early fascination with animals and violence. He struggled with social interactions and became increasingly withdrawn. He committed his first murder in 1978, but his most notorious crimes occurred between 1987 and 1991. Jeffrey Dahmer, known as the Milwaukee Cannibal or Milwaukee Monster, murdered and dismembered 17 men and boys between 1978 and 1991. He was also known for engaging in necrophilia and cannibalism. Number 3, John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois. Gacy had a troubled relationship with his father and experienced a difficult childhood. He was known in his community for his charitable activities and even dressed up as a clown for children's parties. However, beneath this facade, he was a sadistic killer. John Wayne Gacy, also known as the Killer Clown, was an American serial killer who sexually assaulted and murdered at least 33 teenage boys and young men in the 1970s. He buried most of his victims under his house. Number 4, Aileen Wuornos. Aileen Wuornos was born on February 29, 1956, in Rochester, Michigan. Her early life was marked by abuse and instability. Aileen Wuornos was a female serial killer who killed 7 men between 1989 and 1990. She claimed that the murders were in self-defense, as she had been a victim of sexual abuse. Her life story inspired the movie Monster. Number 5, Richard Ramirez. Richard Ramirez was born on February 29, 1960, in El Paso, Texas. He had a troubled upbringing and was influenced by his older cousin's stories of Vietnam War atrocities. Ramirez turned to drugs and crime at an early age, leading to his violent and sadistic criminal spree. Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker, terrorized California in the 1980s by breaking into homes and brutally attacking and killing his victims. He was convicted of 13 counts of murder, 5 counts of attempted murder, and various other charges. Number 6, Ed Gein. Ed Gein was born on August 27, 1906, in La Crosse County, Wisconsin. He grew up on a farm and had a domineering, abusive mother. After her death, Gein's fascination with death and his bizarre behavior led to his grave robbing and murders. His actions inspired the creation of several fictional horror characters. Ed Gein was a grave robber and serial killer whose crimes inspired numerous horror films, including Psycho, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and The Silence of the Lambs. He was known for his gruesome fascination with human body parts. Number 7, Andrea Chicatillo. Andrea Chicatillo was born on October 16, 1936, in the Soviet Union. Chicatillo suffered from a range of psychological and physical issues from a young age. He struggled with impotence and feelings of inadequacy, which eventually fueled his violent sexual fantasies and subsequent murders. Andrea Chicatillo, also known as the Butcher of Rostov or the Red Ripper, was a Soviet serial killer who murdered and mutilated at least 53 women and children between 1978 and 1990. His gruesome acts shocked the world. Number 8. Albert Fish. Albert Fish was born on May 19, 1870, in Washington, D.C. He had a traumatic childhood, experiencing physical abuse and witnessing extreme violence. Fish's later crimes, including child murder and cannibalism, were influenced by his disturbed upbringing and his belief that he was following religious instructions. Albert Fish was an American serial killer and cannibal who targeted children. He confessed to killing and eating several young victims during the 1920s and 1930s. His heinous acts earned him the nickname the Boogeyman. Number 9. Dennis Rader. Dennis Rader was born on March 9, 1945, in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Rader led a seemingly normal life, working as a security officer and being actively involved in his church and community. Dennis Rader, also known as the BTK Killer, bind, torture, kill, murdered 10 people in Kansas between 1974 and 1991. He taunted the police and media with letters detailing his crimes before being caught in 2005. Number 10. Gary Ridgway. Gary Ridgway was born on February 18, 1949, in Salt Lake City, Utah. He had a troubled childhood and struggled with feelings of inadequacy. Gary Ridgway, also known as the Green River Killer, is an American serial killer who confessed to killing 71 women, mostly sex workers, between 1982 and 2001 in the Seattle area. He was known for his ability to evade capture for many years. The stories of these infamous serial killers serve as chilling reminders of the darkest aspects of human behavior. Their backgrounds often reveal a complex interplay of personal struggles, psychological issues, and societal influences that led them down a path of violence and depravity. These individuals inflicted immeasurable pain and suffering on their victims and their families, leaving a lasting impact on the communities they terrorized. Remembering the victims and their stories is paramount, as it honors their memory and emphasizes the need for ongoing efforts to understand and prevent such heinous acts from occurring in the future.